Professor V. Muralidhar is serving as head, Department of Mathematics, Mohammed Satak College of Arts and Science, Chennai. He has 23 years of teaching experience. He has attended 3 international and 5 national conferences. He was a resource person at the Mohammed Satak Teachers Training College in Chennai in 2012, where he spoke on History of Mathematical Genius Ramanujan. He was elected Academic Counselor, University of Madras during 2003-06. He has attended the Orientation and Refresher courses at the Academic Staff College, University of Madras. He specializes in stochastic modeling and has rich experience in discrete mathematics, operations research, statistical methods, and numerical analysis.
Welcome to UGC lecture series. Today we have an interesting topic in statistical analysis called forecasting. Forecasting is an important trend where we expect the future trend of action based upon the past data. Basic principles of forecasting analysis. The growing competitions, rapidity of change in circumstances, and trend towards automation demand decisions in business based on future course of events, and every business and economic decisions rest upon a forecast of future conditions. Forecasting aims at reducing the areas of uncertainty that surround the management decision making with respect to cost, profit, sales, production, pricing, and capital investment, etc. A forecasting in general is defined as the estimates of the future conditions which is based on a systematic basis. What are the different procedures that we follow in the forecasting? Some of the basic procedures are given as follows. A forecasting business change involves more than analysis of statistical data. It also predicts the economics change such as secular trend, seasonal variations, cyclic variations, and a consideration of cause and effect. Understanding why changes in the past have occurred. Determining which phases of business activity must be measured. Selecting and compiling data to be used as measuring devices and analyzing the data. What are the different forecasting in business? So, the main objective of a business forecasting is to make analysis based on a definite statistical data which will enable and execute to take advantage of future conditions to a great extent. A successful prediction is the element of continuity between the past, present, and future. While forecasting, it is impossible to forecast the future precisely. There always must be some range of error allowed for in the forecast. Statistical forecasts are those in which we can use the mathematical theory of probability of measure the risk of errors in prediction. What are the different methods of forecasting? So, first one is we got business barometers, extrapolation, regression analysis, econometric models, forecasting by the use of time series analysis, then opinion polls, causal models, exponential smoothing, and finally survey method. These are different methods of forecasting with the help of which we forecast different trends. First one we will see one by one. The first one is business barometer. So, in the business barometer, what are the various constituents? The first one is gross national product, employment, wholesale prices, consumer prices, industrial production, and then volume of banking deposits and currency outstanding, consumer credit, disposable personal income, departmental store sales, and stock prices, and finally the bond yields. So, these are some of the different constituents of business barometer. Second one is extrapolation. So, extrapolation is another method of measuring the forecasting. So, in this method we have the estimation of future course of action based upon the statistical data. So an extrapolation is a useful method of forecasting where the variable will follow an established path. It relies mainly on the relative consistency in the pattern of past movements in some time series. The main objective is to determine accurately the appropriate trend curve and the values of its parameter. For the business forecasting, we use alternative trend curves like arithmetic trend, semi-log trend, modified exponential trend, logistic curve and Gompertz curve. So these are the different types of methods of trend curves which we will be using in the extrapolation technique. The next model of Barrow parameters is regression analysis. Actually, whenever I talk about regression analysis, it gives functional relationship between the variables. In other words, a regression is defined as a functional relationship between the two variables where one is a dependent variable and the other one is independent variable. For example, if we know that the advertising expenditure and the sales are correlated, then for a given advertising expenditure we can find out the probable increase in the sales, or for a given sales we can find out the corresponding advertising expenditure. So here we take advertising expenditure as one variable, that is x, and the other one you can call advertising expenditure, you can call it as another variable y, or the sales you can take it as another variable y. So whenever I express the relationship y in terms of x, I can estimate y value for a given x, and if you are given y value, I can estimate x for the given y. So I can give a relationship between x in terms of y or y in terms of x. So this gives the dependent and independent variables relation. Now we use different statistical techniques to estimate the regression equations, which are often fairly complex and time consuming, but there are many computer programs which are available that estimate simple and multiple regression quickly. Also, using the regression analysis, the level of industry sales is usually forecasted first and the company forecast is then made on the basis of predicted behavior of the whole industry. So these are different techniques which we use in the regression analysis. And what are the different limitations that we have here, or we said the drawbacks in using these methods? There is a risk that the estimated regression is false. In such a case, the forecaster must always use his judgment and the knowledge of the facts and of the underlying theory behind it. Next one, the demand for most commodities, it depends upon the multiplicity of aggregate economic variables such as GNP, disposable income, prices, population, employment and industrial production. The next parametric model is econometric model. See, econometric model plays a vital role in business forecasting. Here we use economic techniques which is originated in the 18th century, which had wide contributions for forecasting and attributed to the growth of computer technology. The economic model provides the forecaster with a record of prediction with a clear statement of assumptions concerning exogenous variables and the solutions of the model to trace and reproduce the causes for success as well as failures. And in this econometric models, they are not very popular in practice because it is probable neither necessary nor feasible for every business forecaster to construct his own model of economy. The effort and cost involved in a fully developed econometric model, they are well beyond the most forecasting operations. Hence, if you see in the practical situations, people use their own econometric methodology and try to arrive at the decisions in the business forecasting models. The next one is another important parametric model, the forecasting by use of time series analysis. Time series analysis is the variations of your different business situations based upon the period. So we call that as a time series model. Here, using this time series model, one can have forecasting. A time series analysis helps to identify and explain any systematic variations in the series of data which is related to seasonal, cyclic patterns, trends in the data and the growth rates of these trends. The main purpose of this time series analysis, they provide an initial approximation forecast that takes into account those empirical regularities which may with reasonable assurance be expected as persist. Also, after the trend and seasonal effects have been identified and measured, the original data may be adjusted for these influences. So, first we calculate the different types of measures with respect to various past factors and also the period factor. Then we finally analyze and adjust with respect to the requirement of the original data. The next model is opinion polling. So, in this model, an opinion polling is defined as the survey of opinion of experts, that is the knowledgeable persons in the field whose views give lot of weight. For instance, a survey of opinion of retailers, wholesalers and sales representatives etc., they will be of a great help in formulating the demand projections. Especially if you see in the business trend, we have different types of business, small scale business, large scale business, where we use this type of opinion poll before taking your decision with respect to the business. And in this case, we have to analyze each and every opinion and arrive at a correct conclusion. The next model is causal model. So, a causal model is defined as the most sophisticated kind of a forecasting tool that expresses mathematically the relevant causal relationships, and it includes inventories, considerations and the market survey information. A causal model takes into account everything known of the dynamics of the flow systems and utilizes the predictions of relevant events such as competitive actions and the strikes and promotions. Each and every action is taken into account. So, with the help of these factors, we used to make decisions using these models. The next one is, if the data are available in these models, the model includes the factors for each location in the flow charts and connects these by equations to describe the overall product flow. If certain kind of data are lacking, initially it may be necessary to make assumptions about some of the relationships and then track what is happening to determine if the assumptions are true. So, here we analyze various factors in these causal models. We check each and every relationship between the mathematical equations and their coefficients and their influences in the model. The another important parameters of business forecasting is exponential smoothing. So, an exponential smoothing, it is defined as a smoothing function of moving averages without their corresponding drawbacks and limitations. In other words, it is a special kind of weighted average and is found extremely useful in short term forecasting of inventories and sales. If you take different types of business product, each and every relationship between the variables can be analyzed by using the exponential smoothing method. So, in this method we smoothen the functions of moving averages without disturbing their drawbacks and limitations. In other words, it is a special kind of weighted average which is very useful in short term forecasting with respect to inventories and with respect to sales. And here we have a methodology of this exponential smoothing process. So, we have different steps in applying these methods to different mathematical models of your business forecasting. In the first step, by defining a relationship with respect to the period t. So, here the relationship is given by s suffix t is equal to alpha into x suffix t plus beta into s suffix t minus 1, and this is the base equation for exponential smoothing. Now, the weights employed here to compute this estimate, they are called smoothing constraints, and we denote them by alpha and beta, with respect to the condition that alpha plus beta equal to 1. For determining the value of alpha, we follow the rule where we have the magnitude of random variations in the series large. Now first we select the small value for alpha, so that the smoothed value st will reflect st minus 1 to a great extent than it reflects to xt. So we choose such a large value satisfying this condition. For a moderately stable process, a large alpha should be selected. The value of alpha in general, it lies in the range 0.10 to 0.60. The value of alpha is determined by means of simulation techniques with the purpose of minimizing the variance. So to minimize the variance, you have to choose the largest value for alpha. So generally we follow the following rules for the system of weighing. So this system, the following table gives you how to choose this alpha depending on different time periods. So initially for the time t, we choose your weights to be alpha is equal to 0.2. So whenever you take alpha 0.2, your corresponding your a value as 0.5, then a into beta naught will become 0.2. So for the second time period t is equal to 1, we choose beta 1 to be 0.16 and a value will become 0.25. And for the t2 period, your beta 2 is 0.126 and whereas 0.125 for your corresponding a value. And for different time periods, we have got different values which will the value is increasing. In such a case, we have an exponential smoothing of the corresponding system. And in the step 2, the difference between the current smoothed value and the preceding one, it is denoted by delta st. So whenever I say delta st, it means the variation in the smoothing of at the time t, and it is calculated by using this following relation, that is delta s suffix t equal to s suffix t minus s suffix t minus 1. Now with the help of that, we have got variations in the following values, and in the step 3 we trend the estimates, and which is calculated using the relation the period at the time t we denote by capital T suffix t. It is equal to alpha into delta st plus beta into t suffix t minus 1. Now in the step 4, the forecaster at the time t plus 1 we denote by st dash, that is the optimal smoothed time at the time t. It is calculated by the following formula: st dash is equal to s suffix t plus beta by alpha into t suffix t. So with the help of this relation, one can find the forecast for the future time t plus 1. And here when the annual data are involved, then st constitutes the final forecast for the period t plus 1. So whenever I talk about annual data, it means it is going to be with respect to per year. So in such a case, since your time is getting converged, we have the final forecast period at the time t plus 1. For seasonal variations, the corrections has to be made if the series related to quarterly or monthly data. So depending on whether its data is quarterly or with respect to the monthly, based upon the corresponding season, we have the corresponding corrections given by the above relation. So in the step 5, the forecasting error is calculated using the formula E suffix t plus 1 equal to st dash plus st plus 1. So whenever the error is very less, then our forecasting is going to be the best converged forefactor for the future. Now let us see a small example using this forecasting method. From the following values, prepare forecast by the method of exponential smoothing, taking initial estimate as 100. The value for A is given to be 0.4 and an initial trend value is given to be 0. In this you are given two rows. First one represents a time period which is denoted by small t. Second one indicates the sales in crores of rupees. He has given from 1989, 2000, 2001, he goes up to 2007. For different periods, for the given the sales in terms of crores. That is, for 1989 we got 104 crores, for 2000 108 crores. For 2001 we have 118 crores. For 2002 115 crores, etc. For 2007 128 crores. So for this data, how you are going to calculate the smoothed value which we described in the preceding procedure? First one is, for each time period we know that S suffix t is given by the relation alpha into xt plus beta into st. So here for 2000 we calculate the smoothed value as alpha into x1 plus beta into s1. So here alpha is 0.4 and beta will be 1 minus 0.4, that is 0.6. So we get 0.4 into first trend value 108 plus 0.6 into 100, so we get 103.2. Now for 2001 we have alpha to be 0.4 and beta is 0.6 and the corresponding value is given to be 118 and 103.2, which already you calculated for 2000. That is, we take the preceding year. So if you simplify, we get 109.12. Now for 2002 we have got the 0.4 into 115, whereas 0.6 into 109.12 which we already obtained. So you substitute here. So it gives 111.47 crores. Similarly, for each of 2003, 4, 5, we used to take these trend values, and this 114.88 you have to substitute for the next period, 117.73 next period, 119.84 substitute in the next period, and the last 121.90 substitute in the last period, that is the smoothed value for 2007. So where we got 0.4 into 128 and 0.6 into the current trend was smoothed value 121.9. So finally we get smoothed value for 2007 to be 124.34 crores. Now how you determine the error? Because the smallest error will give you the best forecasting value. So here delta st is defined as S suffix t minus S suffix t minus 1. And whenever I want to calculate between 2000 and 1999, then we have delta S 2000 equal to the trend smoothed value of S at 2000 minus the smoothed value of S at 1999. So 103.2 minus the base value we have taken to be 100, so we get the difference to be 3.2. Similarly, for 2001 we have got to 2001 smoothed value minus the 2000 smoothed value. So 109.12 minus 103.2, so we get 5.92 and so on. So like this we calculate for each of the year and we got the corresponding trend estimate given as follows. So for the 2000 trend value we got 0.4 into 3.2 plus the other one 0.6 into 0, that is your error value. So finally we got the corresponding trend estimate to be 1.28. So like that if you do for each of the corresponding 2001, 2002, 2003, etc., 2007, we have got the final estimated trend to be 2.42 crores. Now the forecast for the future, it is given by ST dash, that is the smoothed trend for the optimal period, that is denoted by T dash. It is defined as ST plus beta by alpha, that is 1.5 into your corresponding trend value. So for 2000 if you take the corresponding trend value we obtained to be 103.2 plus your 91.5 into 1.28. So that will give you the 105.12. Similarly for 2001 109.12 plus 1.5 into 3.14, that will give you 113.83 crores. So like that we calculate for each of the period. So for the 2006 period we have got the trend value to be 124.34 plus 1.5 into 2.42, that is 127.97 crores. So using this trend cache, finally you have the error also calculated for each of the time period. So for 2000 the error is 105.12 minus 118, that is we got a negative trend minus 12.88. Similarly for 2001 we got a negative trend minus 1.17. So for all 2002, 3, 4, 5, 2006 we got negative trend For 2007 also 127.97 minus 130. So we got minus 2.05. So among this trend value, wherever you got very less trend, that is very less error, that is going to give you the best forecasting. Now we have got a final table where the first column denotes the time period, second column denotes corresponding trend value, third column denotes the smoothed value for each time t, and the fourth column delta st, that is the error estimate for each of the corresponding period, and the t for the optimal time period, and the forecasting trend value, finally forecasting error. So among this forecasting error, whichever is smaller, we take that as the best trend value. And if you take the preceding example, so in this we have got the least negative value you have to take, that is going to be the minus 0.80, and this is going to give you the best trend period. So you have the corresponding forecast to be 2004. Now after completion of this problem, now you can practice some of the simple exercise problems. The first one is describe the major steps involved in making a forecast, and the second one explain briefly various techniques of business forecasting, and third one, as we did in the preceding problem, you can calculate the forecast preparations for each of the period using the exponential smoothing techniques for the following data. So in this preceding sessions we have seen different types of forecasting, how forecastings are defined, and what are the various limitations, and what are the advantages of these forecasting methods. And finally we have given some simple exercises where we can determine the problems using the exponential smoothing method. Thank you.